There are so many people feeling lonely, going through life on their own, so to speak. And I'm reminded of my own situation years ago, where my daughter was born with a brain injury, complete surprise to my wife and I, and we were somewhat isolated as a result of that event. We were going through the challenge of it, the uncertainty, the newness of it, what it would mean for us, how our plans and our vision for life would change. And so it was kind of easy to just to retract and and isolate ourselves. And that's when, around that time is when I met my now one of my best friends at work, who at the time happened to be my boss. And there was something about him. He wanted to know what was going on with my daughter. And I remember I mentioned to him, well, she was born with a brain injury, and we're not sure what her future will look like. And we're in corporate America, in the ivory towers of a company that's been in business for over 100, and at the time 175 years. And this executive goes back to his desk, pulls out a Bible, sits next to me with his Bible, and starts to pray for my daughter. I wasn't following Christ at the time, but I said, wow, somebody cares. I said, I need to go to the hospital to be with my wife. He said, absolutely, go be with your wife. And it was 1:00 in the afternoon. I still remember vividly. And so I go to the hospital, and my wife is also there with my oldest son, who at the time was 2 years old. And somehow I lost track of my 2-year-old son, because I was in the midst of the birth of my daughter and taking care of my wife. And I noticed it was almost 6 p.m. and he wasn't around anymore. So I went looking for him in the waiting room. And so I opened the door, and there in the back, there he was in one of those little round tables with the little tiny chairs. There he was sitting, playing with some toys. And to my utter surprise, sitting next to him was my boss, who knew that we didn't have any support system in the city. And he actually just came from work to see if there was any way he could support us. He saw my son in the waiting room and decided to babysit him. We all have every day opportunities to love people through their suffering, and in that process, show the love of Christ, and provoke the question, which has a name. Provoke the question for the hope that lives in us. A hope that has a name, and what a beautiful name it is, Jesus Christ. So that's what I would encourage everyone. Step into the pain of people. There's beauty in the pain.